What's
Welcome,
up?
welcome, mi gente. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy, Mr. M2J, and Mr. Poetic on another episode of Latinos Unfiltered.
Filtro. What's up? How's everybody doing? How you doing today?
Hey, doing all right, all right. Could have
You
been better,
alive?
but you know what I'm saying? I'm alive, and then if I'm alive, it's a good day to do good.
Ain't that the truth? Or do bad?
Yeah, no, it's always good, bro. Yeah, you determine if your day is gonna be good or bad. So as long as you got that mindset, positive mindset, regardless of whatever's going around you. I mean, if it's out of your control, what would that make an impact in your life?
True. So today is October 28th, 2024. Tomorrow is October 29th, 2024.
No.
So we're gonna talk about something because I gotta talk about this because it's if I don't, what am I? So give me a
I
second.
know. Yeah, I opened a can of worms yesterday. For those who follow us, if you go into our TikTok, you'll find out what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So we're gonna show this real quick because there we go. You see it?
Yeah.
Watch this, y'all. Just listen carefully.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
So that's where we're going to leave that at. So as you guys heard, I think it's called Puerto Rico. So that's comedian Tony Hinchcliffe right there. So we're going to start off.
About to be famous for the wrong reasons.
So he's already known to be as a vulgar comedian, someone who's, he likes to go above and beyond and stuff. And to a point, you can be funny about certain things, race, certain things to a point you can be funny. There's different things. We got thick skin. Normally stuff like, things like that, just like whatever, it's whatever. But here's the issue. The issue with that, and there's a lot of, how do I say this in a very nice way? There's a lot of you dumb motherfucking Puerto Ricans out there who are like, oh, I'm still voting for Trump. We love it. Y'all don't got thick skin. You just acting up, blah, blah, blah. You should be proud to be here. First of all, I am proud to be an American. My dad fought in the military. My family's fought in the military. I got family in the military.
Okay, here's the problem. Wait, pause there. I just want to clarify one thing to every single person watching this podcast. Don't know much, but this is what it is. As far as I know, me, Mr. M2J, and your boy Poetic, we don't belong to any party affiliations.
Facts.
We don't align with Republicans and we don't align with Democrats. To us, politicians are politicians. Snakes going to be snakes. You just want to pick the one that has the worst poison or the best poison or whatever the freak you guys want to call it. But when it comes down to things like that was said, and that was just me scrolling on my TikTok. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh, hell no. Because it's like he's going over there insulting a whole nation that is
in New York.
That is a commonwealth of the United States at this present point, which is AKA part of the United States. And then you and what drives me crazy, because I know you're gonna go ham, so I'm gonna do mine. Which is a lot faster.
I got words.
Because I know he's gonna go hamon in there.
I'm gonna throw verbal hands right now.
Yeah, he's about to throw elbows and kicks, bro. So, me not being a Puerto Rican, but at the same time me being Hispanic, Latino, it's just mad disrespectful. Because I mean, personally, I have not seen any comedian that I enjoy watching actually coming out like that. And they're just like degrading and insulting a whole nation from the get-go. And then the fact of the matter is that he not even stopped there. After that, he went and insulted black people. Because if you continue watching the video, he says something about somebody had something on their head, and that was his good friend, and they were going to carve watermelons. And then prior to the Puerto Rican thing, that the garbage island or whatever now he wanted to start bullshitting about, he talked about Puerto Ricans don't know how to just know how to have kids because they don't know how to pull out.
He's a Latino.
Well, yeah, it's a Latino. Yeah, he talk about like he don't know how they don't know how to pull out. They just like to come in, like AKA like, oh, just coming into the country type of thing. Like that double standard or what you call it, double innuendo. It like it's just crazy that you have the balls to sit down in a crowd full of people, and then people just sit down there and enjoy that kind of content when there was no funny tone into the conversation, like into what he was saying. It was very monotone, like I am just speaking the truth type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you speak with a comedian, you always got that undertone, like that funny undertone, like he knows he's making a joke type of thing. And to me, that sounded mad serious. Because if you would have told me that he was a comedian, I thought that he was just a speaker. And that thing is what like irked me the hell. I'm like, yo, I gotta let him know. And little that you know, like literally a few minutes after I told him that stuff, it was just blowing all over social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much of an impact. It's not just like, oh, he made a joke. No, bro, that was not a joke.
Yeah.
Especially at this point in time in the year and the way that society is running right now because of a person that is as dumb as Trump that quote unquote want to claim that he's Christian, where he preaches division left and right.
Way I see it, this is my biggest thing is the fact that he's gonna talk about Puerto Ricans, saying, "Oh, there's a trash island." Well, let's start with a few little facts here. If it was a quote unquote trash island, why are there so many Americans trying to move there and take over land and kicking out Puerto Ricans? How do you have a Puerto Rico without Puerto Ricans? Second, America came to Puerto Rico's aid in 1898. There's a Spanish-American War. They fought. They took it. They said, hey, we're going to let you guys have your freedom, blah, blah, blah. And then they decided to do the exact same thing that they are very well, well known for, is trying to escape their own lives because they hated it and they didn't like the oppression. And then they did it to other people, just like in the U.S., to Native Americans and whatnot. And then they did it to Puerto Rico. First of all, people are like, oh, you got to have thick skin. Why are you getting so mad? It's just a joke, blah, blah, blah. The reason majority, I want to say 99% of Puerto Ricans, because there's that 1% of you Puerto Ricans out there who are just dumb as hell that are like, oh, it's just a joke, blah, blah. What's the joke about it? 1898, we got conquered. We got told what to do. We had the Ponce Massacre in 1937, where police opened fire on unarmed civilians during a peaceful march organized by the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party, killing 19 and injured over 200. That's if you want to say, oh, well, you know, there's whatever. There's a sterilization program. A significant percentage of Puerto Rican women were sterilized without full consent or understanding as a part of population control efforts. They were trying to control the population. Birth control trials. The first large-scale human trials on the birth control pill were conducted on Puerto Rican women who were not informed about the risks, who ended up developing horrible things and some dying. There was a doctor, I can't remember his name. He ended up becoming huge for cancer or something. Apparently, he wrote a letter to some of his other people stating that he had killed, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, but it's around. He said he was able to kill 8 people so far, or he was trying to control the population, so he was trying to go after and kill as many Puerto Ricans as he possibly could. Then he said later on it was a joke. It was a huge uprising. There is so many things I can name here. There's 30 things I have here that I had researched. That was ridiculous. Look, right now, lack of representation in Congress. Puerto Rico has only a non-voting resident commissioner in the House of Representatives, limiting its influence on federal decisions. If we make something that we want to do, even if, let's say, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm like, not at all. But if we want to become independent or whatever like that, let's say, hopefully, the new person that we're hoping for, who's pushing for our independence, if we say, hey, we want to do this, and then we bring it to this, I believe the Supreme Court, we're like, hey, this is what we want to do, but then they say, well, it's too bad, you can't, then it's the US's final decision as to what we can and cannot do. So doesn't people say, oh, well, you have, corrupt people. We've been a colony since 1898. We have not stopped. We've had our land taken over. During Hurricane Maria, I believe it was 200 plus thousand, if not 300 plus thousand people who ended up being displaced from their home, had to come here to the U.S., lived here. There's even a thing called After Maria on Netflix that they talk about it. They go into a few lives. They had a year to try to get their stuff ready during a time when the economy was not good in 2017. And then people were like, oh, we either got to go to shelters or you got to go back home to Puerto Rico where you're still screwed. A lot of them said, well, I'm not going to be on the street in a country I don't know. I'd rather be back in Puerto Rico where at least if I'm going to be on the street, at least it's my home. So yes, it's a very raw thing to talk about. We have not been our own country. We have not been there. And the fact that you think, oh, it's just a joke. What's so funny about calling a country trash that you guys want to have so badly? All you Americans want to be there so badly. And then there's the Puerto Ricans who are here in the U.S. who are like, oh, have a thicker skin. I'm voting for Trump 2024. Like I said, we have no political connections. We can care less. But the fact that you have the balls, the audacity as a Latino after hearing that saying it's just a joke, I guarantee you, te lo juro por mi madre, I swear to you on everything. If Fluffy went on, Gabriel Iglesias, a Latino person went on there and said, oh, America's trash, oh, it's a stupid place, blah, 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 he would get roasted by every American. People would be pissed. It'd be all over the news in a bad way. But the minute a white guy does it, it's okay. Are you serious? You can't tell me that
you know how to take a joke.
People get pissed, right? If you say it to anyone, especially people, and I'm only saying this because I've heard it and I've seen it, but if you tell that to any person, Trump or not, but especially a Trump voter, that America's trash, oh my Lord Jesus, have mercy. The things people would say, well, you're lucky to be here, you're Hispanic, you're not supposed to be here anyway, this is our country.
Yeah,
land.
I mean, look at how they react when you start. Yeah, look how they react every time you tell them something about the United States being this, that, and the third. Which, you know, some of the points are factual. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, go back to your country. Oh, wait a minute. So if I state the facts about what condition the country is and this, that, and the third that you complain about, then I'm supposed to go back to my country. But then when you speak about an island that you suppressed, made a colony, and do not give the support that you're supposed to be giving as the one that took over the island, and then somebody dares to just speak trash about the island, and then you want to sit down there and like, oh, he's just a joke. He don't mean that because he went to Puerto Rico. That's as far as somebody that is a Caucasian saying, I got black friends. Like, I go to Puerto Rico and I have and all the time. That don't mean nothing. You can go to Puerto Rico just to see that you feel superior to the people that is around there, because you're enjoying of the luxuries of the freaking country and the island and stuff like that, and see all the beautiful locations over there. Well, how about the parts that I got that are rated with poverty because their schools get shut down because they ain't got no doctors because the roads look like crap, and then there's no funding that the federal government sent over there in order for it to do that. And then on top of that, you also got crooked ass people that just want to enrich their pockets. Why you don't enforce any type of laws over there where they, if they get punished for treating the island like trash, if that's supposed to be your treasure because you want to keep it, then maintain it.
They just had a famous, very wealthy hotel propose, if I remember correctly, it was a few months back, I think, proposed a $2 billion proposal to buy land. They're bidding over this land. I think it's near Fajardo, which is on the north, I want to say northeast side of the island, where they want to buy all this land and turn it into resort and hotels. And this is already a problem because we already have so many Americans going there and doing things like, for example, taking ATVs on public property or protected property and going over beaches that are protected because of the turtles and stuff and riding on them. I don't have any names to mind of the people who have done that because, I don't know who could have possibly done that. It's not like it was some dumbasses named Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Oh, wait, I do have names. I forgot about that. So, those fools did that. By the way, y'all, November 15th on Netflix, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I personally wish nothing bad on anyone, but this is the one exception in my life. I will straight up tell you the hate I have for that fool and the
strong dislike. Jesus, you talk about hate,
strongness, bro. This is one of those where I know it sounds bad, but you ever hated someone who goes to, and maybe Americans don't really know this, but people who go to your country and then treat it like trash and then act like they give a damn and then completely, I mean, they've always been known to do, they went to Japan, I forgot which one, Logan, I think, though, and he went to the forest out there and where there's people.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
And then disrespecting, like, how
didn't he get banned from the country for a couple of years or something like that?
I hope it's for life. But I don't like Jake Paul, what he's saying. And then people are like, oh, well, he's trying to help other Puerto Rican boxers get out there. I forgot her name. Forgive me for that. But he's helping people. He's building gyms, blah, blah, blah. Of course, he's trying to look good. You destroy things, you buy land, you take advantage of our places, and then you act like it's all good. Oh, and then one thing I swear to God I hate is when they're like, Jake Paul hailing from, no, bro, you're not from Puerto Rico. You don't represent Puerto Rico. I hope you get the shit beat out of you. I hope Mike Tyson just does damage. I wish no damage on anyone permanently, but you know what? I don't care about this one.
Oh,
I don't
this
care.
guy.
That's the amount of
This
this
guy.
kid, bro. Like, I hope he hits him in the gut so hard that this dude just releases his soul. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this kid, bro. I don't like him. That's how aggravating he is. You know what? You know who I really want him to fight? As much as I want Mike Tyson to do
This
damage,
dude's tripping.
I want him to fight what's his name? Xavier oh my gosh, why am I forgetting names right now? He's a Puerto Rican boxer. Oh my god, what's his name? Now you got me tripping on this one. But yeah, I want him to fight.
I got you tripping. You started the conversation yourself. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just it's people, the disrespect that people have for Puerto Rico, and then people are expected to laugh about it. It's just I don't understand the point of it, why it's such a funny thing. Xavier, not Xavier, Xander Zayas. Thank you, Xander Zayas. Dude has been, last time I checked, undefeated. I think it was 21-0, I believe. I want him to fight Jake Paul. I feel like we need one of our boxers to go there and show him what it means to be Puerto Rican and to fight someone in Puerto Rico, because I swear, what I would pay I would get front row tickets. I would get there. I would get to front row tickets and see that, or I'd sneak my way in because I'm too broke for it. Because I know it'd be huge. Because Jake Paul, you know, I just
yeah, but I mean that's one of the things that kind of got me heated, because one of the things that a lot of people see in, they hear from all this rhetoric and stuff like that, talk about, yeah, you know what I'm saying, like I get it, I'm an immigrant. I was born and raised in Panama. I came here through legal means. So I understand what people say, that they don't like undocumented and they want people to find a way to come through any country legally. It's not just the United States, it's any country. But sometimes you have to understand that there are some people that they don't see another way out. I mean, when the English people came to the country of to the continent of the Americas, and settle here in the land of USA, did they had any immigration paperwork done? No, they just took the land, did whatever they wanted. You guys set your own rules and regulations. You established stuff. You pillaged. You murdered.
But you need to get over that. That was back in the day. That's not serious.
Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying?
I hate when people say that, bro.
It's a history, and I understand, dude. Saying like I'm saying, I like to understand like all bases. Yes, there was classism in Europe, and that's why they decided to migrate and move to another place. There were persecutions, there were murdering. Yes, there were slaves back here and in every other continent. I mean, that's just a fact of life. You know what I'm saying? But if you wanted to do better, you have to start doing better, and I just speak about it. And then when you are in the same position and you see other people moving around, and instead of trying to find ways to get to these people and find a way for them to come in here and be legal, and then just come around talk about mass deportation, and then just belittling people, and then just treat them like they're the scum of society, because you think that every single undocumented or every single the people that cross the border just wants to come over here to be a sex offender or murderer, or
an essay.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's like, okay, and they act like there's not Americans that do it. There's not, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the world is made of people that have goodwill, and there's people that have shit for brains, and they don't give a crap about life. And the thing about it is that what exacerbates my soul is that this guy likes to preach or say or just blurt out that he wants to make something better, but by creating violence, that's not the way. You know what I'm saying? This is not Civil War era where they try to free the slaves and stuff like that. And then the funny part about it is that I was seeing some videos that just kept scrolling or whatever now, where he just like blatantly just opened his mouth talking about like he wants the country to go back to like 1978 or back in the days or something like that, like Civil War era or whatever, before black people have freedoms and all this other extra stuff. My God, it's like the stuff that keeps coming out your mind, and then just people look at him and then just give him a pass about that stuff. Like, you have to understand that, like, and what drives me nuts is that all the people that sits behind him and they just applaud the stuff that he does and want to call him a man's man and want to call him this, that, and the third. I mean, I voted for Republicans before, bro, but I'll never do that for this guy.
My thing is, like, I understand, like, okay, I understand if you want to change, you need to make the change, you need to do stuff. I understand that. I've voted a lot before in the past, and like I grew up Republican. I don't like either side though, but the way I see it is like as I grew older and started realizing that if I lived in Puerto Rico, I wouldn't be allowed to vote. I was thinking, so why am I voting then? Like, I'm Puerto Rican through and through.
Exactly. You not even have the rights, the basic rights that American have.
Why should, just because I live here, I'm allowed to all of a sudden? At that point, I'm like, then I'm not voting anymore. Because why does it matter? They literally are excluding a whole culture all because we're a colony. And it's bad enough that if I want to own a business out there, I can live there and I can get the benefits of the Jones Act and all this other stuff. But if I'm from there and I live there and all that other stuff, I can't get the same kind of things. Like, come on. And then people are losing their homes left and right because people are selling it to these.
Yeah, it's like they just want to freaking they want to like exile everybody from the island so they can be so that island can become just like a tourist spot full of freaking resorts or whatever. And they have the private freaking Disneyland, just to say, where they got all the fun stuff about it, and it's just straight up business. So you can go ahead and fly over there and just go to resorts, parks, this, that, and the third. Bro, that's you exiling a whole culture, and then you want to like you just want to assimilate them. Like, if you're not gonna give them like the freedom that they want as a country, and on top of that, you don't want to give them statehood so they can get and enjoy some type of benefits or freedoms that every other American have. Like, what's the stuff here? Like, it's a lose-lose situation.
This is the way I see it. I don't want to be a state. I'd rather be independent. But if I knew it was no ifs, ands, or buts, and we had to be a state, like they're like, it's going to be a state, doesn't matter what you guys think, blah, blah, blah. I would want it in the terms of, and this is for statehood or independence. Either way, I'd want it where it's like a lot. I think Cambodia has it. A lot of countries have it where, okay, if an American or an outsider, someone who is not from that country, wants to own land there, then they can own land, but they have to have part ownership with someone who's native, someone of that ethnic blood. So Cambodia, if I remember correctly, you can own land out there, because I was looking into it out of curiosity, and I believe it's like they have to own 60 or 70%. Someone who's from Cambodia has to own 60 or 70% of that property, and then the American or the outsider who's not Cambodian would own the other half. So that way everything's not bought up by Americans or non-Cambodians, and that it doesn't take away their culture, their people, and it doesn't become overrun by people who are not there and kicking other people out. I think that's a phenomenal idea. I think that should be for every country, every single country. I think that should be a thing, because it's something it's ridiculous, especially the fact that so many. Let me look at Hawaii. Mark Zuckerberg went. Hawaii needed help when they were in war. The U.S. said, "Hey, we're going to help you out, and we'll let you guys have your freedom." They took it, and then boom, they were told, "You know what? You're going to be part of us. You guys don't like it, too fucking bad." And now they're a state, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't realize it, but a lot of them, they still do not want to be a state, but they have no choice. Nothing they can do. I don't want to get to that point where I think we should make it a thing where same thing. If you want to own land, it has to be owned by someone who, 60%, 60, 70% has to be owned by that. I had somebody, one of my friends, he's a white American. He's like, well, then why would I want to do that? Because we had a conversation about that because we were going to do a thing for the food dudes thing. And he's like, well, how does that make it fair for me if I'm spending all the money? How is it fair for me who's investing in the land that can do that? What if I'm someone who actually cares about Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican people and I'm not there to do something bad? I'm like, I understand that there are good people. There are good white Americans out there. There are black Americans. There are very good other cultures who legit go to another country and they actually love the land. They respect it. They learn it. They do well. I understand that. But it's still fair because we've gotten screwed since 1890. I mean, since 1898. You're talking about
since before that, bro. Since
before that was when America took over. That's when America took over.
Since they were like next to Spain and all this other stuff, and then
is when America took over. We had Spain before that. So you're talking about 200, 300 plus years. It's see, now you got me wondering, when did Spain take over Puerto Rico? 1493.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I forgot that. I should have known that, but I should have known that. Look, we're talking about money is 531 years that it's been that we have been taken over. We had Spain before, and then 1898 the U.S. So 531 years we have been slaves / a colony of everywhere else with no rights. And
yeah, that's basically a slave life. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
Don't be mad that we said Puerto Rico is trash. Get the fuck out of here with that stuff. Oh well, you're U.S. citizens. First of all, if I remember correctly, during Hurricane Maria in 2017, when they did a survey, people were like, "Oh, blah blah blah," especially a lot of Trump supporters. And I'm not picking on anyone. It's just that's what actually happened. But the majority of I think last time I remember, I think it was like 55%. It was a super high number of Americans did not know that Puerto Ricans were United States citizens. They had no clue. They thought you needed a passport to go to Puerto Rico. They did not know we were citizens. And people are like, well, you're lucky.
And people still do. And that's the sad part about it, because people still do think that Puerto Rico is just some place you go and they're not really Americans type of thing.
And it's the crazy part. People are like, oh, well, you should be excited, blah, blah. Puerto Rico has had, if I remember correctly, the most people of any country serve in the military, and with like the best are some of the best soldiers in the military. And then I've had some Puerto Rican soldiers on there who were like, oh, well, I fought so that we could be free, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, you weren't alive when we were fought to be free. Second of all, we were forced to do stuff we didn't want to do. We had no choice, and we were still segregated upon. Oh, well, this is 2024 now. Okay, well, we have new rights and all that, but we're still a colony. And yes, you have the rights you have, but they only made us citizens because there were so many things happening back in the day that they wanted to placate us. I mean, look, the infrastructure challenging, the social inequality, the economic dependence on tourism, healthcare. But they closed down, if I remember, in 2017, 2018, I think it was 250 schools that the U.S. shut down because
I heard something about that.
Like we're not allowed to have education. For what was it, 9 or 10 years, we were not allowed to wave the flag around or do anything like that or we would be threatening to go to jail and worse. That's why when people are like, why do Puerto Ricans always have so much flag things around? Because we were not allowed to. We were literally not allowed to.
Yeah. See, after black people, bro, is like that's why Puerto Ricans and blacks, bro, like they're so like united type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like the struggles that each one of them went through when it came down to like being part of the United States of America. It's just like, bro, it's being bloody, bro. Is bloody and is ugly. And the fact of the matter is that if people don't want to look at that stuff, and that's why they always want to shove that thing in the back and just pretend that nothing happened and create all this, laws, or try to pass all these laws about, like critical race theory and all this other extra stuff or whatever. Not it's like, bro, just understand that it's just like people from Germany. They know what they did when they had this guy over there. They don't hide that stuff, but they move past that stuff. They understand their past, and they work towards changing it. But you guys trying to completely erase it. There's nobody over there talking about, oh, Hitler never happened. They do.
Yep.
They acknowledge that.
Bro, from 1948 to 1957, 9 years, Puerto Rico's gag law, La Ley de la Mordaza, made it illegal to display or own the Puerto Rican flag. It was enacted to suppress the independence movement and allowed authorities to search homes without a warrant, leading to arrest and imprisonment for those displaying the flag. Check this out. If you had that, it was punishable by 10 years in prison or a $10,000 fine. And usually it was prison, not the fine. And usually it was both. It allowed authorities to search homes without a warrant and seize property. People like Francisco Matos Paoli were imprisoned for owning a flag. This law was part of efforts to suppress the independent movement and was repealed in 1957. Why did they want to suppress it? Because they didn't want Puerto Rico to be independent. They didn't want it to be free. No, to this day, we still have the Jones Act and all this stuff so that we pay more money. If I own property there and I want to be able to sell stuff, guess what? I have to send it to the U.S. office here where they inspect it, do it, send it back there, then I can sell it. That's why it costs so many people so much money to be able to have produce and groceries. Right now, I forgot when I was watching a documentary or something on YouTube or on TV. I don't remember where this like professor who's like super smart said right now with the way they do things in Puerto Rico, he's like with the way Puerto Rico is now, he's like about 70 to 80%. It would be possible or something around there where Puerto Rico could be independent and support themselves because now we have a lot of people who are realizing, especially because Bad Bunny speak up and a lot of artists and other people and people are realizing that we can farm our own land, that we can grow our own veggies and stuff. We have very, very good soil. I mean, Domino's, the sugar company, went there because of the sugar cane and they produced a company that makes billions of dollars. Why? Because our products are good. So, and we're such a tourist destination that it makes money, but guess what? The majority of everything there, I think a lot of narcotic pills, opioids and stuff are produced in Puerto Rico. It's like, because everything there is just very good to do. If we had the opportunity, it would be nice. There's Brock Pierce who had said, and I put it on one of my personal pages, which we will put up on the TikTok. He was saying how he was trying to have a talk with people in the city and stuff, and there's a lot of Puerto Ricans there, and then there was a lot of white, black, Indian, American investors who did Bitcoin. He wants to make Puerto Rico, especially certain parts of Puerto Rico, the next Silicon Valley. But people are like, why? You're going to kick us out of there by doing that? Because obviously if they start building up and making stuff expensive, what's going to happen? It's going to raise prices and people can't live there. If you can't afford to live there, where are you going to live? And then we can't leave Puerto Rico. Oh, well, you have people, you don't yet. Not everyone in Puerto Rico has family in the States.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you have no one in the States? You're homeless. So then what do you do? So, and then one of the people in the video is like, well, you have no choice because this is going to happen if you don't. It was like this. I don't know if he was black or Indian. So I think he was like a mix, but he's like, well, you're going to have a choice because this is going to happen. I swear to God, te lo juro mi madre, if I was there, I would have slapped the spit out of that dude's face, bro. It was.
Yeah, but see, one of the parts that actually like kind of like drives me kind of crazy is the fact that after he said what he said, everybody like, I know what I get pissed about that stuff because I see the value of the country. You know what I'm saying, I got my wife is Puerto Rican, you Puerto Rican, I have other friends and stuff like that, and a lot of people that we know, Puerto Rican, Dominican, so far and so on, and this and that. But then you have also the Democrats to try to milk the freaking same cow, talk about like, oh, we are going to be doing a lot better. We promised this. Bro, you guys been promising that shit for what? Almost 50 years or more?
More.
That you guys that you guys gonna do good by Puerto Rico, and bro, what happened?
Dean Huertas, who I'm giving one shout out, he wrote on one of his pages recently, actually a few days ago, especially because all this stuff was happening. He was writing how people are like, oh, that means you must be voting for Kamala, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And it's like, he's like, because she apparently she did a conference or something like that where she was talking about what she would do for Puerto Rico. But here's the problem with that, and he even said in his video, he's like, that's all good and dandy, but doesn't matter which side, Republican and Democrat, both have said for years, I mean decades, that they were going to do good for Puerto Rico, and every time they said it, guess what? It
Ain't
never
nobody done it. Yeah, they ain't nobody done nothing.
Nothing, and it's actually potentially gotten worse. We are the oldest colony in the world, have continued to be, and we're in so much debt, it's ridiculous. They're, oh well, most Puerto Ricans are lazy and they don't want to do this and that, and they just want to take on welfare. What are we? I don't. If you're able to work, don't be on welfare in Section 8. But here's the problem: when someone takes that opportunity away from you in an island where you have to get everything imported, because if you don't, you can get fined and in trouble, in jail and all that. How do you live when you don't have the opportunity to do that?
Exactly. You take resources away from the from the island, and then you want to think about, oh, but you guys are lazy, but you ain't giving them nothing. What they going to survive on?
The right way, we can't do it. I'm going to open up a farm and sell this. Or well, then you have to do this, this, and this. Well, that's going to cost me too much money.
Like you got all the penalties, but none of the benefits. Like what kind of nonsense is that?
Yeah, and then Americans can go there,
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I personally I don't believe in either side, because everybody just loves to talk the talk, but then when it comes down to it, it's like y'all never deliver on the shit. Y'all just keep making it worse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, we over here living under Trump's tax thing, and then they want to blame it on old man Biden. The dude, when he tried to pass his own freaking tax whatever reform, they blocked that. But then they want to sit down and they want to blame that. Why Donald Trump don't take responsibility for that stuff and say, hey, that's my tax stuff? You know what I'm saying? Not saying like he tried to pass some other stuff. Some of them might be good, some of them might be bad. And that's one of the things I said. I'm gonna give you props when you got props, and I'm gonna point out your mess ups when you got your mess ups outside in the air. That's why I don't take no part with anybody over there. But the part that really irks me about this guy this time around is that he continues to throw out this show that he's the best option for America, bro, because he's quote unquote real, because he has no filter. My guy, there's a difference between not having a filter and saying the truth, and just sitting down there gaslighting the rest of the goddamn country, and just elevating all this freaking narcissists and racist people that is just hiding, and they were just waiting for the right person to show up so they can proudly just walk around and just show all the nasty shit that they be hiding inside their closets. It's just like, it's not funny. I actually saw a video about this guy that he went to, I guess, one of the gatherings that they had over there for Trump. And the guy talked about, oh yeah, women, we in the United States, we respect women, da 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 da. But then he had a shirt that says some shit about Hillary Clinton can blow, but she don't blow better than Monica. So if you want to respect women, where's the respect for them? Because regardless of you liking them or not, they're still women. The nasty stuff that you said about Kamala, she's still a woman. But then y'all want to sit down here and talk shit about her too. So how you respect women when women are in position that you want to talk shit about them?
A lot of people don't realize that in Vieques, which is one of our islands in Puerto Rico, the U.S. Navy used it for bombing practices for decades. And they cause environmental damage, health issues. They're still, to this day, last time I checked, still pulling out the mortars, the bombs, and all that stuff from the island. So people are still trying to do it. You know how many residents of Vegas experienced? You know how many health issues that they ended up, cancer rates was significantly higher than any other part of Puerto Rico. Cardiovascular disease, 8 times more likely to die from cardiovascular disease, potentially linked to exposure to the toxic substances. Diabetes, heavy metal contamination. Studies found high levels of mercury, lead, arsenic, cadmium, aluminium, and antimony in residents, substances associated with military ordnance, and then vibroacoustic disease. Some residents developed this condition due to exposure to shock waves from the bombings. If I remember correctly, Puerto Rico is the only place with American citizens that the U.S. bombed American citizens, and just for testing. just to test the bombs. Like, really, this is the place you bomb your own citizens and created diseases for
Didn't
that.
they do the same thing like in Nevada or some shit like that?
But they're not with people around. Not where. I mean, it's possible.
I mean, it still spreads around or whatever. Where they were testing like bombs and all this other crazy shit. I mean, I just don't understand it, bro. It's just mad crazy, and I really don't like to get into this whole political nonsense because, like I said, you're not picking the lesser of two evils, bro. There shouldn't be no evils to begin with because those are people that's supposed to be working for us to make our lives and in general better, and pick people that is actually their actual interest is to the country and not to their own pockets. Some of the stuff that even I had the conversation, I'm like, okay, why all these politicians make so much money? How about you make them have minimum wage salary and see if they actually want to be in the position?
Mm-hmm.
Give a minimum wage salary and let them survive on the same amount that a average American can sit down here and have a little job where they got to work 2 or 3 jobs in order for them to pay rent and a light bill, you know what I'm saying, and still be broke after all that, and then say something else.
And since we're talking about Latinos here, and this is Latinos Unfiltered podcast, I'm going to show you guys this video right here because this doesn't have to do with Puerto Ricans. This has to do with Latinos in general. But this is one of those things where is disconcerting because if you look at this,
in America, you can learn it. Learn English. Learn it. You getting money in America? This isn't you getting money in America. Learn English. I don't give a fuck. Learn it. Learn it. You riding on the roads? Learn English. Talk about that shit. Learn English. Learn English. Learn English. Learn English. This ain't your fucking country. This ain't your fucking country. Learn English. Learn English. This ain't your fucking country. What's wrong with you? Fuck wrong with you, boy? You better learn English. Hey. Learn English.
Insultando, entiende mi madre lo que me está diciendo. La tienda. You better get on.
That's crazy. And the fact that he chased him all the way outside is even worse, bro.
His place got shut down.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm so happy for that. His place got shut down, and then so I posted on my food one because the point was just saying I'm not going to support a restaurant. On my food dude social media one, I was just saying, hey, I'm not supporting this restaurant. If you're a food person, you shouldn't be supporting this either. And then I posted on the Latinos Unfiltered one. It's crazy because on my food one, I got every freaking Trump supporter in the world came out. This is America, learn English. That's our official language, blah, blah. On my Latinos Unfiltered one, on our Latinos Unfiltered, we have people like, I can't believe this. A lot of black people came out and they were like, bro, we don't support this. This is not us. Y'all are the same.
Yeah, like that man don't speak for the black community, all that stuff.
Yeah,
bro.
it's
It's
like,
just
bro,
crazy.
Latinos, people don't realize, but like, Latinos, we deal with so much of this exact same stuff. It's like, the sad part is like, it's 2024, bro. You can get a translator app. How do you know that he's not? Here's the first thing. How do you know he's not trying to learn English and he's not new to it? How do you know that he's not trying his best in that? And then he tried to say he made another video. He shut down his account, made another one, and then made a video with his friend explaining what quote unquote happened, where the guy walked in with the thing, took the food and started leaving. He's like, he was trying to steal it. It's like his job is literally to go in there, look at his phone for Uber, say, okay, this is the food, grab it, and then there you go. Obviously, he could say something, but the guy didn't understand him. Say, hey, what do you mean? Use translate. Like, you're here because you're not even, how do I say this? If you're not white, and if you're black, Hispanic, you're not from here. Yes, you could have been born here. Your family could have been born here. But before you guys were all born here, where'd you guys come from? Africa. Simple. Yes. Well, no, my past 3 generations, we were all born here. Okay, you could have been, but you had ancestors who did not come, who were not from here. You had to be shipped over here. And then you were, because slavery and all that, then you were born here. And now you have generations of that. And now you're American. All good and dandy. That's not a big deal. but the ignorance of it, bro. The
Mhm.
ignorance. You know, we go through the same shit, bro. The same shit.
It's
Only
just
difference is
not crazy that
well, I think
nowadays,
it's just
bro,
more
is and I commented that on a video today, at some point today, where I'm just saying like ignorance and misinformation is the new fashion sense, where everybody wants to find their information from a person that is ignorant, and then that ignorant person that gave you the message got their message from a misinformed person. So it's like you guys never take the time to actually do your research and try to feel a little bit of empathy towards the next person next to you and say, are you in your shoe? Are you in their shoes? No. So why you would sit down here and just be judgmental about their, the choices and the things that they had to go through life? Just like everybody else has to go through something in order for them to get to a place where they can actually feel comfortable and be content with their life. Everybody got
yeah,
to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was raised by my Caribbean black family and my Hispanic, family in Panama. So yes, I learned English and Spanish in Panama. Now, my thing growing up over there was this: I don't speak English in Panama because we all speak Spanish, but I understood the language. But I did my due diligence when I came to this country, and I actually took classes so I can be certified bilingual. So now I'm a certified bilingual. So I understand. Yes, you want to learn the language of the place that you're going with that most people speak. Now, given
exactly.
United States is a melting pot of a lot of different cultures. Can I communicate with every Chinese person? No. Now, if I go to the Chinese store, do I have to tell the Chinese lady that's about to give me some food that she needs to speak English when they speaking in Chinese or Cantonese in the kitchen? No, I don't care. That's their language. That's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I can find a way to communicate with the person and I can get what I need, I'm fine. Even if it's a few words. Bro, I know a lot of Hispanics that they try their best to speak the language and their English is broken as is ceramic freaking plates. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they still trying to find a way, but then when people go around and they just try to belittle just cause, it makes no type of sense. Whether it's here in the United States, whether it's in freaking Brazil, whether it's in the middle of Europe, in France or Italy or whatever, or somewhere in Africa or whatever. Like, we are still people.
Like, we agree that if you go to another country and you're going to live there, yes, you should try to learn as much as you can. You should assimilate. We're not disagreeing with that. 100% agree on that. But you don't know how long the person's been there. You don't know if they've been there for a few days, a few weeks, a few months.
Exactly. You don't know
And
their
everyone comes
mental.
at a different
You
pace.
don't know if they have a mental disability or a learning disability or something. You don't know. You don't know how hard that person is behind their own doors trying to find a way so they can better themselves to put their best foot forward so they can go and get somewhere else. But then you have zero empathy and you just have entitlement up your ass. And then you just think that everybody got to be at your level because if they're not, then you are better than them.
Yep.
Think about it for a second. A millionaire business person is nothing without their employees. But then who's the people that get the worst part of the damn thing? The same people that is building your goddamn company. Because
Yep.
without employees, your business don't go nowhere. Without consumers, your restaurant won't thrive.
And that's the crazy
Yeah,
part. It's like he's in what he his restaurant, or the restaurant he had, was in Washington D.C., which is a huge melting pot. Tons of it. You're talking about you're near Philly, you're near Maryland, you're near all these places where it's predominantly black and Hispanic, and you're gonna act like that for someone trying to do their job. And then he tried to make up excuses and blah blah. I promise you. And I had a lot of, and I love my people, but a lot of Hispanics, Latinos in general. But we had a lot of Puerto Ricans on that. They were like, "I wish he would have done that to my face, bro." Like the stupidity of someone. What if
yeah.
I spoke three language? First of all, the fact that I know more than one language. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, maybe you should learn this." It's the this is we speak. America has no official language.
It's not even that, my guy. You said it right there. The fact that me puedo salir así y hablar español and then turn it right back into English and I can go back and forth between two languages. I can read it, understand it, write it, and speak it, if I want to sit down and feel that I am superior to somebody that only speaks one language, but I don't, you're still a person. You deal with what you want to deal with.
Yep.
Now, if I want to go travel to Japan, which is one of my dream places to go, do you think that I'm going to sit down and take my time to actually go ahead and learn the language so I can understand and speak what I'm in the place that I'm about to go? Yeah, it might not be perfect, but I know for a fact that I'm going to do the best I can so I can communicate with the people over there because I respect their culture. If I want to try to go to Italy, I'm going to try to find a way that I can go and speak the language and I understand what they're trying to tell me.
Yep.
Does that mean that I'm going to become a full, like, multilingual in every country that I go? Not necessarily, but at least I'm going to try to learn the best I can learn so I can communicate and enjoy my time over there without being judgmental.
And that's the one thing a lot of Americans are saying on there was like, oh,
Because you know what kills me the most?
We learn the language. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
You know the part that kills me. The part that kills me the most is when people from the United States that travels and they feel entitlement, and then they want to tell people in their country from across the pond that they need to learn English. Bro, when I see videos like that, that shit makes my blood boil. Because it's like, you come from your side of the pond, you want to travel to their country, and then you want to impose onto them that they need to speak the what?
Yeah. That's the part that,
like, I understand that English is one of the most common language that is like spread around so people can communicate. Like, people use English as their base. Like, okay, we need a little bit of English because we have a lot of people from the United States traveling back and forward to this and the other. But the fact of the matter that you feel entitled to the, like, if you don't speak English, you better go. Yeah. You're in somebody else's country and you want to what? No.
And the crazy thing is, unfortunately,
how about you take your happy ass and go learn something else other than watching freaking YouTube videos and TikTok dances? You know what I'm saying? And stupid stuff instead of making your brain rot. How about you learn something out of life and learn a new skill?
Yeah, I don't understand people when they act that ignorant. Like, it makes no sense. It throws me off because it's like, I know multiple languages. What do you know?
Yeah, and that's just base level. You know what I'm saying? That's just base level.
Yeah.
So, like, it's mad crazy. Like, you here in the United States, and if they hear you speaking another language, automatically you become like, you beneath me. But buddy, do you understand that I can speak more than one? So I understand what you're saying. I'm not entitled to respond back in your own language. I can speak in my own language, and I'm 100% aware of what you're saying, and I can reply to you in pretty much English, and but I choose not to. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not stooping down to your level. Because if you want to be ignorant, I can be ignorant too. But I rather just ignore them, because as an outside force that I cannot control, I'm not going to let just stupidity rub on me. It's like some videos I've seen that people are just full of trash and they're just trying to find a way to dump it because they feel insecure and horrible about their own lives. Right. So now they just want to dump that stuff on somebody else to try to make themselves feel better. I am not going to allow you to do that. You can sit with your own trash and carry your own basura and just go about your merry own way being miserable because of what you decide to take on yourself.
What I found funny was the fact that people are defending the guy, saying, well, he's right, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. But it's like, how are you defending someone when the point of the video was to show that it doesn't matter how much you don't like it or what it is. It doesn't take a language to treat someone with human decency.
Like really, I said, I mean, it sometimes and this is the part that is crazy, that it's so many other countries, and even, when it comes down to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Panama, Mexico, whatever, there's a thing that is the cousin of racism, and it's called colorism. And regardless of you speaking the same language, whether it be Spanish or whatever, not, there's always some type of division within the same country where people just want to see because you are this, then you are beneath me. Because you are this color or this shade of color, you are beneath me. Is just like, my guy, it's crazy.
Yeah, that
You know what I'm saying? It's just like how people associate skin tones to a a status in society or something like that. It's just crazy. Whether it's your language, your skin tone, whatever. It's just crazy. And then they let ignorance become the new fashion sense, and then just keep on spreading ignorance. And that's why sometimes I'm not even like, I understand that we are in the social media business where you got this podcast and stuff like that. But that's why I don't entertain myself so much with social media myself, because the amount of nonsense that people at this age are allowed to voice outside in the air, and then
yeah,
just infect other people with the same type of nonsense, and then people that apparently don't have any brains left automatically absorb all that nonsense, and then you start spewing more trash instead of like analyzing, being very conscious about what you're listening to, understand what they're saying, and if it's something that doesn't benefit society, just throw that crap in the trash.
yep.
Everybody wants to feel accepted and everybody wants to feel human and this, that, and the third, but then there's the same people that spread poison and trash to other ones just because what? They don't like the same things you like? I'm sorry, that's called life.
Yep. It makes no sense. It's all I
Called
know is that,
life.
and then the crazy part about that whole situation with I mean, I'm glad that the dude's restaurant got shut down because that was ridiculous. And then with the whole comedian thing, it's funny because the apparently a little while after, the campaign people who work for Trump were like, we don't go with that opinion and that. How bad
Yeah.
can it be that the people who ask you to speak there are distancing themselves from you?
I 100% disagree with that. I actually was having conversations and some comments with some of the other creators that were speaking about it. If this guy would have said something that you are, put it this way, if you are in a speaking situation, let's say they call Mr. Poetic to go ahead and do a presentation or speak at a food conference or something like that, okay? And you
Okay.
go over there, and the person that is hosting the whole thing, and you go over here and you speak out of pocket, or let's say that you hosting it and somebody that you invited speaks out of pocket and is not speaking something that is on your values, something that you value, that is up, your moral compass in this, and they speak out of pocket and they just start saying stuff that completely goes away. One, you would have turned off the mic. Two, you would have got on stage and rebuke what they're saying, said, what he said right now, whether it was a joke or not, I am not with it. But he didn't say that. Everybody went on their merry own way. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. But then when it's done, then they want to be like, we don't align with that situation. You guys know what he was doing. And not at one time, y'all decided to stop what he was saying because you know the type of crowd that you had. And going back to that stuff, he even said it on the like he was saying some other stuff over there, talking about is anybody going to vote for the other candidate or whatever not, and they be like, something, don't raise your hand because I want you, I don't want you to get hurt. What are you saying? So you telling me that in a democracy, a person that opposes you cannot go to your rally and voice their opinion because the rest of the crowd is going to beat them up?
Yep.
So where's the freedom? Where's the freedom of speech that so many people want to sit down and fight about? Because you want to fight about freedom of speech, but if it doesn't align with yours, then you're a problem.
There's that
And that's
freedom of
part of
speech.
the reason why I don't see him as a candidate that I will ever vote for him in any way, shape, or form. because the stuff that you are spewing and the things that I'm seeing with my eyes, because I follow this stuff from different news outlets, and it's just mad crazy that the stuff that they say, and so people just sit down there and you twiddle the thumbs and they think that shit is fine. And like, my guy, in no way, shape, or form that is fine in any degree. The stuff that you are saying, I don't know how people feel that you are the best option. That is literally like a step away from a Hitler type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this big ass dictators nonsense. And talk about like you want to have everybody on your side, and everybody that is not, then they're supposed to be executed. They're supposed to be exiled. They're supposed to be this, that, and the third. Bro, what are you talking about?
It's
If they had any other freaking Republican candidate at this point in time, I think I probably would have voted for somebody else. But just because that dude is there, I got to look for other options. You're not something, and I mean, he paints a pretty picture, to be honest with you. Because sometimes you're like, oh, we try, like the whole thing with the male people with the transgender and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You people and your people, but some of y'all people is trying to push that shit way out there, and I'm not cool with that. But that don't mean that I'm gonna see every transgender person or any person in the alphabet, community, and I'm gonna treat you like you're less than anything. You're still a human. I still give you respect as a human being. Do I align and I agree with the stuff that you're doing? Of course not. But that don't mean that I'm not gonna treat you as a human. I respect you and I value you as a human being because you have value as a human being. It's just that our vision of what you're doing and how I think, how I believe in other stuff, it doesn't align. But that's as far as it goes.
exactly.
That don't mean that I can sit down and have a conversation with you if you have a little bit of brains left, or you have a well put person inside whatever your beliefs are, and we can have a conversation like human beings.
And that's the thing. It's
people don't try to find a what you call it, like a common ground where you guys can sit down with your differences and still have to treat each other like human beings.
And
everybody want to go to an extreme.
People don't want to have a conversation. People don't want to have a mature conversation. I know people who stop being friends with other people because like, oh, well, you don't believe the same candidate, so we can't be friends. It's like, why not? We can't have a mature conversation. Like, how does that work? We're really going to sit here and pretend we can't, we can't actually, just talk and
exactly. Like before this guy showed up. Before this guy showed up, we were cool. Now this guy showed up, and for some odd reason, now we are worst enemies because what?
Yeah.
I got people that support Trump, and okay. You want to support him? That's it. I mean, we don't see the same, but that's your choice at the end of the day. Like I said, I don't have any political affiliation to anybody. You can vote for whoever you want. That's your right. You know what I'm saying? You can vote whoever you want, but I'm just pointing the obvious. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm voicing my concern and the reason why I'm not going to vote for that candidate. If it was anybody else, I promise you I would have a better look into whatever they were doing. That guy has no policies going around. All he does is talk about nonsense, grievances, and all this other stupid nonsense that he want to perpetuate to be a freaking victim while trying to brainwash and make these people drink the purple Kool-Aid. Talk about it's not a cult, bro. That's the same definition as a cult, because it looked like nobody over there is actually having a little bit of brain to say, does that align truly with what you believe about life? Because every time that they get interviewed by somebody, their brain's starting to fry, because when they show him the facts versus what they believe, they start short-circuiting on videos, and I'm like, it's kind of funny how your brain is reacting to the truth, because it's not crazy. The truth's still the truth, whether you like it or not. The truth is gonna hurt you, and it's like you guys just want to live in delusion. That's on you, bro. That's literally on you. You want to live on the Delulu life? That stay on the Delulu life.
Delulu. I love that, dude.
You can stay Delulu.
Oh my god, that is the beauty of it. But yo, that is what's happened with Tony Hinchcliffe. I just had to talk about it. We had to talk about it because it's ridiculous. Being Latinos Unfiltered, we had to talk about it.
We have to put our 2 pennies into it.
Yeah, because that's ridiculous. For y'all who say, "Oh, have thick skin," we got thick skin, but we don't deal with stupidity. That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. I think people just see it that way. For you to have thick skin, you have to deal with stupidity and just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether that shit was racist, degrading, or something like that, bro. No, I'm sorry. Thick skin is standing to people like that want to degrade other people just for your freaking entertainment. We're about to say something. We did. We said what we said. You like it? Good. You don't? Okay.
Vete para carajo.
like they say in Panama, arriera somos y en el camino nos topamos. That's all.
And that's facts. That's how we are. That's who we are. If you don't like it, don't follow us. Don't like us. Don't do it. If you have nothing negative to say, write it down there. Let us know why you think the opposite of what we think. I mean, if you think that it was okay,
give us facts, bro. Give us facts.
Everyone's all right to have their opinion, but if your opinion is that we do need to have thicker skin, and you think that that's not that serious, well, you know what? I applaud you, and I agree with you that you're wrong, because that's what life is. What I say, common sense is common sense,
Yeah, well, there's no such thing as common sense. It's just right and wrong.
Yeah, and you're wrong.
Facts, facts and delusion, facts and fantasy.
Facts. So, if it's something that you're like, oh, well, you need to be a little bit tougher. Well, I just want to say, I'm going to learn to be tougher when, there's, nothing in history that shows, the oppression of, an entire country for 541 years. So, when that doesn't happen, we'll go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Okay, está bien. But in the meantime, vete para el carajo, tú eres una pila de mierda, y si te gusta ese cabrón, vete para el carajo.
Guys, this is your boy Mr. M2J and your boy Poetic on another installment of the Latinos Unfiltered. People, just follow us on Twitter. Twitter? We got Twitter,
TikTok,
okay,
Instagram, Spotify, cuanto madre que hay por ahí.
Where's the other one that we did? Did you do the Pantheon one?
No, we haven't done that one yet.
Okay.
Patreon.
No, there you go.
Yeah, we haven't. No, not yet. We're not up there. We'll be there soon. But we talk about either way, whether you agree or disagree. You're Latino. We respect you. We love you. We want to raise our people up. That's the point of this channel. If you do think we're wrong, hey, you are entitled to an opinion, whether you're wrong or not. I mean, you are wrong, but you're entitled to it. But, for you Puerto Ricans who want to vote for Trump and say, oh, we agree, blah, 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 you have things, you know what? You are, speaking seriously, you are entitled to your opinion. You can think what you want. I personally think you're wrong. Majority of Puerto Rico thinks you're wrong. But either way of that, regardless of, you being incorrect in your assumptions in your brain, either way, we still need to be able to come together as a people and realize that.
And I'm just saying, if he wins the election and your dreams don't come true, make sure that you bite that bullet hard.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Because
take it like a man or take it like a woman, however you want to identify yourself.
Yeah. Because just remember this: we're gonna end it with this. If you're someone, you vote for who you want. You're human. You do what you want. That's what's the beauty of being an American. I love being American. I love being here. Remember, if you're voting for Trump, and we don't care about either one, we're not affiliated with either one, but just remember, in terms of who you're voting for, the U.S. in general has not gave a damn about us. But the other thing is, just remember, if you're like, oh well, you should vote for him, then I don't have him here. Just pretend this is a huge roll of tissue paper, and remember that. He threw it at us and said, "Hey, remember that." So
Hey, yo, and for my people in Florida, remember, vote yes on 3 so they can legalize cannabis down here.
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Y'all have a blessed day. No matter what, whether you like, agree, or disagree, we still love you. We appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right, it's been another Latinos Unfiltered.